You won't believe the chilling turn of events that began when a legendary enforcer, a man who once annihilated an entire gang with his bare hands, discovered his beloved dog had been brutally murdered by a few twisted individuals. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just any dog. It had an owner whose very name struck fear into the hearts of many, a truly dangerous man. When he finally arrived at the desolate scene, the only thing that remained was a single shattered shell casing glinting menacingly on the cold ground. In that precise, agonizing instant, it felt as if the very air itself had been completely frozen solid, thick with unspoken fury. Yet, after discovering the horrific, unspeakable death of his loyal companion, he didn't roar in a fit of uncontrollable rage or break down into agonizing tears. No, he simply methodically and in chilling silence began to dig a pit with his own bare hands. But the moment he finished burying the dog he loved most, that's when Jesse's inner fury completely erupted, unleashing a relentless torrent as he locked onto his first target, the twisted man responsible for the killing. Now, when this man saw Jesse, seemingly alone and isolated in the vast wilderness, he made the fatal mistake of not taking him seriously at all. Cursing dismissively under his breath, he confidently got straight into his car, completely oblivious to the terrifying truth that his arrogance would very soon cost him his life. Then, with a sudden electrifying burst of speed, Jesse sprinted directly toward him at full, unstoppable velocity. Just as the man managed to shake Jesse off, feeling a fleeting moment of triumph, Jesse suddenly reappeared, standing completely unharmed and motionless right in front of the car. The vehicle screeched to a horrifying, deafening halt, stopping mere inches from Jesse, who remained unmoving. No matter what the man desperately tried, the car doors and windows refused to open, as if sealed shut by an unseen force. He could only watch in absolute terror as Jesse slowly, methodically walked closer, step by agonizing step, before finally chillingly getting into the car. Moments later, when the man's stunned companions arrived at the grisly scene and witnessed the horrific sight, one of them instantly fainted on the spot, utterly overcome. Until their dying breath, they would never truly comprehend how killing a dog on a mere whim could provoke such a merciless, devastating retaliation, or what terrifying kind of person they had truly managed to offend. The one sole survivor of the attackers fled desperately, convinced he had finally escaped, frantically searching for help, but he was suddenly, brutally knocked unconscious by a devastating club strike. He could never have possibly imagined that he had just barely escaped one terrifying den of ravenous wolves, only to stumble headfirst into another. When his eyes fluttered open once more, he found himself tightly, inescapably bound to a sturdy chair, utterly at the mercy of his new captor. It turned out the ruthless owner of this secluded house was just as merciless, just as cold-blooded as the man he had barely escaped. Here's the real plot twist. Knocking him out hadn't been for revenge alone, not by a long shot. No, it was because this terrifying man urgently wanted a son-in-law for his daughter. In fact, he bluntly, menacingly declared that this captured man would have no choice but to marry his daughter that very night.